Welcome, food travelers, to an episode here in Richmond, BC, in Canada. In this episode, we're headed to a restaurant called Happy Valley Village Restaurant, and they do open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and they share a parking lot with other restaurants, or there's also a street parking right out front. I end up paying for the street parking as the parking lot was full. And for 90 minutes of parking, it cost me $5.20 Canadian. I don't know what that is converted to USD, but it's not very much. Luckily for me is 90 minutes was plenty of time to eat at this restaurant. And the setting of this restaurant is quite unique. The dining experience is centered around like northern China iron pot cooking with retro decorations. And as you enter the restaurant on the first floor, there is a stairway and elevator that takes you up to the second floor where the restaurant is located at. This is really similar to one of this other restaurant that I went to in Houston called Kim Sum Buffet. And as you might have watched that one, it's a very similar concept where you enter through the first floor and you have to go up to the second floor where the restaurant is located. And once you get to the second floor, you see a bunch of wine jars and some lanterns hung along the hallway. And as you enter the restaurant, you'll see more wine jugs. And if you're lucky to get a booth table or room, you see these floral pattern pillows over these wooden benches and a mural over the wall. And there's also these giant metal tea jugs. And each table has this giant iron pot in the center and is cooked over high flames.
Yeah, going through the video, Micah, it's definitely what kind of popped out for me was all the decorations, because they seemed like they really did try to spend time putting all those things in to kind of create the experience that they were shooting for. Would you say like it was successful in that way?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely makes you feel like you went back in time in, I don't know, like the early 1960s or 50s or wherever this time frame is at. Because even when they were pouring the tea in these giant metal jugs, those were like from the back in the daytimes. And as you see here, the menu, they give you this paper menu, but each table does have a QR code if you want to see the latest items. We were kind of having trouble with the network there, so we did request for the paper copy, so it's a little bit easier to see what items we wanted. So starting off for the appetizer, we got this smoked half chicken. It's a half chicken. You could order a full chicken as well, but it did have a lot of smoky flavor to it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it looked pretty interesting. Like, how authentic would you say it is compared to at least what you know of northern Chinese cuisine?
I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty comparable in terms of northern Chinese cuisine there, especially with this type of items that they have here in the menu. Another thing I did also want to mention was it may feel chilly in that room to start off, and they do have blankets, but as soon as that iron pot heats up, it gets really hot very fast. I mean, you've had a hot pot before and shabu shabu. In a way, it kind of feels like that, but then you got this gigantic pot right in front of you, so you could imagine how much more heat there is coming out.
Yeah, it's definitely a good size from seeing that. Just how large that is. That's huge. But my assumption is, like you said, hot pot, maybe even a little bit of a Korean barbecue where you have the barbecue in the center of the table and it gives out that heat. I know for me, when it gets really hot like that, then especially if I eat something spicy, like I'll break out in some sweat. And so, like, how hot would you say the room actually got? Because I know if it gets too hot, I'll get so uncomfortable.
I thought it was pretty hot. Like, when I first sat down, I still had my jacket on and everything. I eventually took that off. I was thinking even taking off my pullover fleece that I had on, but I mean, it was pretty well ventilated too. Even though you see a lot of steam coming out there, you have these huge vents over the hood, kind of like Korean barbecue style. I think it does a pretty good job. With this dish that we got, it's actually a tomato beef broth that we got, and we ordered for 2 person, but even though we were 3 people, they also had the option for 4. I'm glad we did not do that because I feel like that would be way too much food. And we ordered this extra steamed flat bread, and as you see in the video, it's pretty interesting watching them like moist it up and then sticking it to the side of the iron pot and just watching it steam up. I thought that was pretty neat concept. Kind of brings you back again to like the retro days on how they are cooking it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It just reminds me of in not exactly a one-to-one comparison, but it reminds me of some of the kind of street food that you get like in Taipei when I was there, where they would cook some buns and put it on the side of the such as the oven or kiln that they're cooking in, and then it would cook on the side and stick there, and then once it gets cooked up and ready to go, then they would pull it off the side and then of course serve it for the customer to eat. But yeah, I was surprised that you said that was an order for 2 people, because that is a lot of food for, I think, for 2 people, even though there's a lot of vegetables and then a lot of it is soup and everything else, but it just looks like it would fill, to me, like at least like 6 people. Like that's good for 6.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see how this can be enough. I mean, this is a 2-person meal because that's a lot of food. I mean, just the potatoes alone, that will really fill you up. And I thought the beef brisket was really good. I mean, it has beef, you have the tomato, the tofu and everything, and that flatbread was a side order. It did not come with the dish, but it's definitely worth it. It was nice where you can just I guess dip it into the broth and it kind of soaks it up too. It did come out pretty crispy on the side that it was along the iron pot, but on the other side you can definitely tell it was the steamed portion of the bread.
How was the flavor of the bread? Was it pretty kind of flavorless in general, kind of your just normal flour, water, salt combination, or did they actually have something else in it?
So for this particular bread, there was nothing else. It was just dough flavored bread. It was very flavorless, and that's why I think it was perfect for this dish, because you have that tomato beef broth, and that in itself is more than enough flavor for this type of bread for dipping into it. And as you see, I'm leaving the restaurant now, and I pressed the call button to pay for the meal and for more service. Kind of like how when we go to Korean restaurants, you have that bell and you can call them up. But it's a pretty interesting a restaurant and interesting experience. So if you're looking for something that brings you back in time, and you're looking for a different, unique Chinese Northern restaurant experience, this could be a good one for you to check out. And to wrap up the episode are the notables. Unfortunately for this one, there are none.
If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.